races, we're gonna have a little bit of a special treat for you, as I'm gonna be showing you the checkpoint storage speedrun.
Only the best soldiers can go up
which some of you might know what is, others might have forgotten, because it's been a while since I last did it. But hopefully you guys are ready for it. So let me just update my chat here, because I realized my chat is super delayed. But there we go. Hope you all are ready for it. So before the run even starts, we have to do quite a bit of a setup, and this is one of those speedruns where setup takes longer than the actual run. I've done a little bit of the setup, because there's two things we need to start this. We need a save file where, we need a save file where we have played through the game until, the main quest Singularity, which we are on now, and played through it until we have to go to the rendezvous point, and then we also have to have access to the arena. So I've already done that on the save file. And therefore we now have, from here, there's two things we need to set up before we do the run. So let's head to the beach where we start the final quest. And sorry if my voice is a little off today. I think unfortunately I'm getting a little sick today, but I'll try to pull through. It's a short run, as you can see by the estimate. So first off, we're gonna do the far scenic skip here as the first setup we need to do. And you probably have seen it if you watched the Forbidden West speedrun in the last, I don't know, year at this point. So as always, we're gonna go up against the shield here, push ourselves up against it, whistle for the Sunwing when it's on the other side, jump off because the Sunwing gets stuck in the shield. Oh, is he? Nope. He's not still stuck in it, but swim a little bit away from the shield now that he took us through the shield, and then we whistle again because then he's not going to be stuck here, and then we're going to fly over here. So the thing is, when you have the final quest Singularity loaded in, even though we haven't started the quest at the campfire, a lot of the checkpoints on the island here are already loaded in. And the first 6 checkpoints are actually loaded in here in the quest. And the 6th one is right over here in this hangar that I'm flying towards, which is the one where we see the cutscene where Regala dies. And if we hit that checkpoint, all the other 5 previous checkpoints that were before the hangar counts as being hit. So now the game assumes that we're a lot further in the quest than we normally are. So just by flying into the hangar here, you don't actually have to fly all the way in, but you can. Hits the checkpoint. And normally in the speedrun here, we would fast travel back to the campfire, and then we would fast travel back to the campfire, start the quest, and then restart from save, which would put us in the hangar. But because we're just doing a setup now, there's actually one more checkpoint on this island that is loaded in. So instead of doing that right now, we're quickly gonna fly over here to where the Eric fight begins. And that is because checkpoint number 8, so remember the hangar was checkpoint number 6, checkpoint number 8 in this is the checkpoint for starting the Eric fight. So we're gonna go over here and trigger that. Because this is the only other checkpoint that's loaded in, so we can have 2 checkpoints loaded in before we even start this quest.
Okay, an elevator.
So we'll quickly press the button here and Eric starts attacking us. Eric's gonna spawn up there because, again, the quest is not started, so the game is, well, for lack of a better word, a bit confused now. And now the game knows that we have hit checkpoint 6, which is here, and checkpoint 8. Checkpoint 7 is here, but we'll talk about that later, because 7 is not loaded in. So now that we have done that, set up the far scenic skip plus the Eric checkpoint, we're now gonna head back to the arena, because this is the second part of the setup we need to do. Because this setup here will allow us to beat the game super fast, as you're about to see, or as you can tell by the estimate. Because now we have to do the arena glitch, also known as the invisibility glitch. So that's why we needed access to the arena. So we'll just start any arena challenge where we have our own loadout. In this case it's Pack Hunters, the first one. And then we need to get out of the arena using the infinite jump glitch, which is a glitch in the game that allows you to jump against any wall and spam aim and jump over and over. And that allows you to climb any wall in the game, including invisible walls, as you can see right here. So we're gonna get out of the arena. Now there's a couple of checkpoints here. Or sorry, a couple of invisible walls here to get out of the arena, because I guess the developers really didn't want you to accidentally fly out of the arena. So they made sure it was hard. But then they gave us a super easy glitch to just jump over them.
Miscalculated that landing.
And then when we are over here on the other side, we can then whistle for a sunwing. And then we can begin flying south back towards the beach with the final quest. And when you fly too far away, or just, you don't need to fly, as long as you get too far away from the arena challenge, as you can see on the top of the screen, will eventually fail, which it does right there. And normally when you fail an arena challenge, it's supposed to play the cutscene where Aloy, is disappointed and then send you back into the arena loading screen. It doesn't do that if you are too far away from the arena. So it kind of just leaves us in this limbo state, which we call the invisibility glitch. And it's called that because when you're in this state, you can't die. I assume it's a... I assume the reason for this limbo state is because the developers didn't want Aloy to accidentally die between failing or winning an arena challenge and going to the menu, so they just made her invincible. But since we now have the state outside of the game, we can use that, because there's another thing that has nothing to do with the... I probably said invisibility, it's invincible. I confuse those two words a lot, sorry. But I think you know what I mean. I can't die, is what I'm trying to say. Obviously you can see. But there's another thing the invisibility glitch does, and that is it stores my checkpoint. So when you start an arena challenge, your checkpoint is set to being just outside the arena. And that was the last checkpoint I had before triggering this glitch, obviously. So now the game will store that checkpoint no matter what I do in the game right now. That will be the checkpoint that loads next. Yeah, the timer starts later because the run hasn't started yet. We are just doing the setup for the run here, but the setup is important to understand how the run works. So now we're heading back to the beach, and then the next thing we have to do, now that we have the invisibility glitch and we have the far scenic skip, is now we just need to unlock New Game Plus on the save file, because remember we hadn't completed Singularity yet. So we quickly have to play through the final quest, and that unlocks New Game Plus for us. And that will be important because we are going to be doing a New Game Plus speedrun with the setup we've just done. But beating the final quest here is also not straightforward, as you're about to see. Because remember, since we loaded in checkpoints 6 and 8, the game is still in that state. So you'll see here when I start the quest, it's gonna be a little bit different. So we call companions and start the quest like you normally would. Skip the cutscene. And now the game assumes we are further ahead in the quest. And there's a problem here. Normally in the fast scenic skip we would pause and restart from save. In this limbo state you cannot restart from save. So we have to get to the end of the quest. What's it called? We have to get to the end of the quest. By the way, hey Silence. The game also spawns in companions randomly, so yeah, the game is still confused. So Silence is here. And for some reason he has a... what's it called? The default bow of the game, which is, I believe, is an Otaro bow. Yeah, but there's a problem with getting to the rest of the quest, is that since we checked all the previous checkpoints, we can't just go the normal way to the rest of the game, because there's a lot of invisible walls that are skipped using those checkpoints and the cutscenes we didn't watch. So we have to make another way there, but luckily we have a glitch that once again allows us to climb anything. So we're going to use the invisible, or what do they call, infinite jumps, to climb over this big invisible wall that is also a box. And you'll see why it's a box here in a second. And you remember that we hit the checkpoint in the hangar, so the game assumes we are a lot further ahead. As you can see right here, because the machines are already fighting, the 3D printer is working, and Hephaestus is fighting all the specters. because that obviously happens much further in the quest, but since the game thinks we're much further ahead, you know, that fight has already started. And right now I'm just climbing to the top of this invisible wall, and yes, it is really high, but we'll get to the top here in a sec. Just give it a moment. And this is indeed the fastest way to get to checkpoint 7, which was the one that wasn't loaded in before, because we have to hit that checkpoint to progress the quest. So now we are just working our way towards checkpoint 7. And we are getting towards the top here in a second now. Oh, there we go. And now you can see the reason why I call this an invisible box and not an invisible wall is because it also has a roof. So you can't actually go down amongst the machines. At least I don't have found a way yet to get down there, but that means we can now walk all the way over here to checkpoint 7 and jump down. And yes, the machines are low poly because you are supposed to just view them from a distance. And also, I believe the machines only look really good from a certain angle, because you normally can only see them from over there, and I think a little bit over here. So when we come from this side, the machines look weird. I guess this was a way for the developers to save a bit of, what's it called, memory and stuff, with all the machines loading in, so they only made them look good from a certain angle. And yeah, a nice little trick by the developers, I suppose. So right here, the checkpoint 5 is starting to be, oh sorry, checkpoint 7 is about to be right below us. So we are gonna drop down here in a second. There we go, and remember, you don't have to worry, because we have the invisibility glitch, so the game will always leave us at 1 HP, so we don't die. Climb up here, this cutscene is checkpoint 7. So there we go. And Eric will already be spawned in here, because remember, we got checkpoint 8 that started the Eric fight. So when we get down here, the game already has started the fight for us. So all we need to do is quickly jump down here and then get some headshots on him here so we can get that ugly helmet off. The unfortunate thing with the ugly helmet is what's underneath is even more ugly.
I'm taking you down.
You want this as much as
There we go. And I don't need to worry about dying here again. We have the invisibility glitch, so he couldn't even kill us if he wanted to.
I'm on my way to help. Just need to find my way in there.
Let's just get him stamina. I think that's it. Yeah. There we go.
I will be. In time. Go. Rescue your sister. I'll regroup with the others and make sure they're alright.
And now from here, the rest of the quest is fairly normal. Because all the other checkpoints we didn't manipulate prior to coming here. So now we just need to set up for the tilde fight here, which, if you watch my speedruns, you probably already know. Bolt Blaster plus Bolt Blaster plus Freeze plus Rope Caster equals that tilde. And instead of going the left path, which we normally do in the speedrun, obviously we can just use infinite jumps. So if infinite jumps doesn't get patched, I assume this is the strategy we will use to skip that little, or cut that little corner there. Let's fly up here into Tilden. And remember, we are doing this to unlock New Game Plus, and then after that, we'll start the speedrun. So let's quickly beat up Tilden.
Ask yourself why you're holding back.
Oh, instant freeze. Why did I not get that in the actual run? I'm also not using the Valor Search here like I normally do, because when you're in the invisible state here, or when you have this invisibility glitch on, you cannot use Valor Searches. So in case you're wondering why I'm not using it, that's why. There we go. There we go.
Why couldn't you just let me choose?
There we go. Let's skip through the cutscene so we can get to New Game Plus a little quicker.
There's another battle ahead, Elizabeth.
And then, of course, we spawn back at the base, because that's where you spawn after you beat the game. So let me quickly reload this. Make sure I have all my weapons ready here before we start New Game Plus. Actually, wait, that doesn't matter because my weapon's are already going to be loaded. So it doesn't matter because of the checkpoint storage. Alright, so get ready to start the timer, Dorian. And everyone watching this live in chat, get ready to pay attention because the beginning of this run is really quick. And like I said, if this goes well, I'll beat this in under 3 minutes. So pay attention now, it's gonna be quick. So now we can start New Game Plus here. So we'll start New Game Plus, pick Ultra Hard. It doesn't matter what difficulty you pick here because it will always spawn you back at your last checkpoint, and that will be the checkpoint, or the difficulty you had at that checkpoint will be the one that loads in. And then let's get ready here on time. So in 3, 2, 1, go. And right here I'm immediately spamming the touchpad because we're gonna load in just outside the arena, because that was where the checkpoint was. Immediately fast travel south here to start the final quest. The invisibility glitch gets removed because we start New Game Plus. So here we start the final quest, skip the cutscenes. Then we restart from save, which puts us at the hangar because we had the... Then we restart from save, which puts us here at the hangar.
It's been intense.
Because we had cleared checkpoint 6. We hadn't hit checkpoint 7, so we quickly have to go here and activate checkpoint 7. Which we do like there, because we have checkpoint 8, we can just restart from save. That puts us straight into the fight with Eric here. Nope. That's not great. There we go. Well, didn't get the helmet. So that's probably riff sub 3. It's a little harder to do when you're not low health. He is also not 30 meters away. I'm as far away as I can be. I think that's, yep, there we go.
Okay.
Slow air fight, that's unfortunate. And the plasma is gonna hit me here, but hopefully activate the elevator before. Alright, checkpoint was loaded, damn it. Well, we're not gonna meet estimate now. To get a sub 3, you do have to do that pretty cleanly. And we couldn't get low health on Eric because you gotta remember we couldn't get low health on Eric because we had to restart from save right before his fight, which gives us
What was that?
which puts our health back at full health.
He's taking control of a number of
So that means that we would have to damage ourselves in the beginning of the fight, and that obviously leaves us vulnerable. So it makes the Eric fight a little bit more tricky than the regular run, and I obviously messed it up there. Oh, I messed it up there. But oh well, here we go. So let's quickly climb to the top here, and then we need to beat Tilda, and after that we have beaten the game in under, I believe, 4 minutes, because sub 3 is gonna... might be possible here. I'm looking at the time. Actually, no, it's not possible because I have a long delay. Never mind. But still gonna be quick nonetheless. So here we skip this. We tie down Tilda. And then freeze her, which is probably a fetish of her to have Sobek do that to her. Why am I talking about this in the middle of a speedrun? Don't know. I don't know. Valor search for extra range master. Back to the bow blaster, finish her off, aim at the chest, not the ears. Boom. Which beats Tilda, she didn't say sticks and stones, so we might as well reset the run, but bada bing, bada boom, we have beaten the game. Time. Damn it, we went over estimate, I'm pretty sure. I can see at the time we went over estimate. Or did she say the thing? I don't know. Did she say sticks and stone? I wasn't paying attention. I was trying to be funny, trying to make jokes, and I feel like I'm sick. But oh well. There you go. That's how you beat the game super fast.
And she told you about Nemesis.
So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little showcase here. I was feeling a little too confident about getting the sub free, but the Eric fight is actually the hardest part to get a sub free in this. But oh well, still super fast. This is the checkpoint storage showcase because we use this checkpoint storage to load ourselves in at a save file at the very end of the game. And that's how you beat the game super fast. Whether or not you consider this a speedrun is up to you. Because I'm sure some would argue it's not really starting a New Game Plus, because you're just loading a previous save file using New Game Plus. But others would argue it is a legit speedrun, because you are starting the New Game Plus the way the game wants you to. And you have just done some setup that spawns you in later, and there's a precedent for a lot of other speedruns doing a thing like that. So, you know, it's up to you to debate whether or not you consider this a legit run. But nonetheless, I think we can all agree it's a pretty cool trick. And
one with infinite possibilities.
How dare you interrupt me? But that's fine.
Unlike Tilda, I'm extending a polite invitation.
I know.
You're gonna just take off?
I know. I even practiced it earlier. But the Eric fight caught me off guard there. Because I was too close to him when I placed it as a trap. That was a dumb mistake. But yeah. And apparently, according to chat, you see did say the thing. I wasn't listening. I was too busy thinking of jokes.
If you brought Gaia, you wouldn't be abandoning life. You'd be saving a seed for new.
I mean, I'm just saying. You know, she clearly has a crush on Sobing, and getting tied down by a clone of your crush. I mean, I'm not saying you would want that, but I feel like that's something someone would be into. I don't know, being in space for 1,000 years might do things to people, you know? But I feel like this is the wrong place to go into that right now. But yeah, as what's gonna happen with this run, I don't know. This run is obviously, as you could probably tell, not possible without the infinite jumps. So we'll see what happens with it on Tuesday at midnight. Oh, I guess Wednesday. Do you say Tuesday at midnight or do you say Wednesday at midnight? I don't know. But you know what I mean. When Burning Shores comes out, will infinite jumps be patched? Who knows? As my stance is, I think infinite jumps will be patched. But if they don't get patched, they are considered a feature. And then this might become an actual speedrun. Good. So yeah. Oh, chat can't hear Dorian? Oh, fair enough. Yeah, I mean... Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. But anyway, I think I'm stalling for enough time. We have more bingo to play, everyone. So thank you all for being here. Thank you all for watching. We just have 2 more runs left tonight. And when I just say 2, remember one of them is 4 hours. So yeah, I'll hand it over now. Because next up, we have a bingo race between Marin and Alton in Zero Dawn. So yeah, get ready to enjoy that, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.